Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm gonna try to make this video quick, mainly because I've been tired. I just got back from MEPS. It's been a really long day. So I'm just gonna try to make this quick because I'm just about to pass out. So, we got breakfast. Um, we ended up leaving from the hotel around 5:30. Um, Then we drove a bus over to the MEPS station. Um, we got there, and you check in, you do your biometrics, which is just taking your fingerprints and your picture. Um, for me, they didn't have me projected, which just means that they didn't have my name up in the list to actually do my physical. So I ended up being one of the last persons to go in while they fixed that problem, which was quite irritating to be just waiting there, having everybody else do their thing and just doing nothing. Um, but some points about taking your physical. Uh, I've seen a lot of videos about practicing the dog walk and practicing your when you get down on your knees and stand back up perfectly straight and all that. You guys don't need to practice that. I mean, unless you have very severe balance issues, like ridiculously severe, like you'll trip over your own foot. Uh, you don't need to practice any of that really. You don't need to spend like an hour just practicing how to do the dog walk because they barely even look on how you do the dog walk. And when I did my physical, I was standing next to a guy that did not do it right whatsoever, and the physician just told him to practice it one more time, and like it wasn't a big deal whatsoever. But let me get back on track. So you check in. Um, they give you your folders with all your papers, and they process you into the medical area of the MEPS station. You start by getting your blood pressure checked, getting your pulse checked. After that, you take an auditory test and an eye test, like a visual, just to make sure your eyes are good. Um, do not rush the eye test. Um, they get really fast paced just because they have this group of people and they want to, get things done and over with. And they just try to streamline things, and they hurry up some people. And some people end up messing up on the test, especially the visual test. Um, and the visual tests are some of the most important components of your physical. Um, you know, I don't know what branch you're joining, but if you want to do something like airman kind of thing, obviously you can't be signaling planes down or aircrafts and not have good eyesight and have the fucking aircraft crash into the ship. So just take your time. Don't rush through the eye test. If you didn't understand what they said, or if you didn't understand the instructions clearly, ask. I literally had to ask every single instruction twice just because I wanted to make sure I was getting the right information. And just I was doing that because a lot of people were messing up and they were getting yelled at. So I would just prefer asking twice and having them roll their eyes rather than messing up, having them yell at me and doing me to do things all over again, just wasting time. Um, so you start doing your physical, and in the midst of all this, they try to give you a briefing. Uh, the briefing consists of just filling out your medical paperwork and signing some waivers, because they gotta check your groin and all that fun stuff, which I would just rather not talk about. Um, and they just have you sign some waivers and some medical information such as past surgeries, broken bones. Have you ever used marijuana? No, you have not. Um, just very basic things. So they like, at least for us, they kind of stopped the physical. They gave us that briefing, which pretty much lasted like 40 minutes. Once we were done with it, we continued with our physical. Um, so after the eye test and the auditory test, you need to take a blood sample, some blood work. Um, then you go and do your physical, in which they strip you down to your, well, at least for the guys, they strip you down to your underwear. You get in this room with 10, 15 other guys. Uh, and then you go into a room in which the physician just checks out your body and asks you to do several different um, exercises. It's an ortho and neuro assessment. That's what it is. So they just check to make sure you don't have any problems with your joints, that your motor controls, they're all good. You can move your body at free will, or whatever that is. They just assess your motor controls. Anyways, so you go into this big room. You do all those exercises. You go back to the control desk, or the main desk, and you show them all your paperwork. Then they do a urine sample. You gotta take a urine sample just to check for drugs, which for us was kind of awkward because you have the officer standing right next to you, literally breathing on your shoulder, waiting for you to take your junk out and pee into this cup. And I didn't have any problems with it. Like, I didn't care, whatever. But a lot of the guys, I guess, were like stage fright and they could not pee. And it was it was hilarious because you have this officer just standing there waiting for them to pee. And I guess they just got nervous. I don't know what happened, but to me it was funny. The worst thing though is you kind of have to pinch it while you're in the middle of it, because you don't want the cup overflowing or anything spilling on your hands, and that is the worst feeling in the world. That just the feeling of pinching it and not finishing yet, it was horrible. But besides that, so you get all those tests done, and then you have an interview. They have an interview in which they go over all the information you provided, all your history, all your medical history, your education, just making sure that everything's correct and that you are not falsifying any information, or that you're not keeping information from them. And after that, you're pretty much done. Then it's time for you to see your job consult, or your job recruiter, the person that assigns your job. As I understand, it's a little bit different for the other branches. Navy is the only branch in which you would go to your job consult, and you'll actually get to choose the job on the spot, as opposed to Marines and Army. I'm not sure about Army. As opposed to Marines and Air Force, in which they sign their contract for whatever amount of time it is, and then later on, I don't know how much time you have to wait. I think it's like a week or something like that. They'll give you they'll just pretty much tell you, okay, you can either choose from this or this. But to me, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you're signing up for military service and you're putting that amount of commitment, you should at least have some sort of idea of what you're going to be doing. Because why would you? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, and maybe that's something you want to ask your recruiter if you're going to the Marines or the Air Force. I'm not sure about the Navy. Um, but I got some jobs that I went through. Not there was only like 4 available for me. Um, I ended up going into the airman program, um, which is pretty damn cool. I mean, I'm happy with my job, which pretty much consists of prior to going to your normal school, you get 3 weeks to kind of immerse into various airman position fields such as mechanical or technological or miscellaneous jobs in that airman area, air crew area. And once you know what you like, you kind of decide. Once you know what you like, you say, okay, I want that job, and then you go to school for that job. So that's pretty cool. I mean, if you don't know what to do, as far as if you know you want to do air crew or airmen, and you know specifically what you want to do, I think that's a very good option because you get to kind of immerse in a little bit of everything and really know what you want to do. So I thought that was pretty cool. So you do that, and they pretty much send you to take some fingerprints after that. After the fingerprints, you come back, they print out your contract. You sign it, you go over everything, over the time you're being enlisted, over the job description, and you sign some waivers to make sure that the government is allowed to conduct background checks and credit checks. And something I thought that was kind of peculiar was FBI checks. Apparently, they sent an FBI agent to check on the information that you provided. So, what the Navy liaison explained to me was that based on the contact information that you gave, such as the people you trust, the people that know you, because you gotta list like 3 people that know you very well, and you gotta list people that know where you live, and you gotta list the people that you work for, like your boss if you're working. And I guess this FBI agent checks with your work and talks to the people that you listed as references, which I thought was kind of interesting. So make sure you have reliable people and positive people that are going to be positive towards the person that you are, because they are going to check on that. Besides that, you get your contract, you sign everything, and then you get to swear in. You do your oath, and just like that, you're a Navy sailor or an Army guy or an Air Force guy. I don't know what they call them. I guess that's what I'm gonna say. You do your oath. You can have family over for your oath. I didn't have anyone with me, so I guess that kind of sucked because I wanted my... Because that's the moment in which you really are part of the armed forces. And I guess I was a little sad that I couldn't have anyone there, because that was, the moment in which you are in the military and you do this oath. So I wish I could have taken some pictures and recorded it. So if you have family that can come, I definitely suggest that you bring someone with you, because I think that's a pretty special moment. And that's it. They give you a copy of your contract, and you are now part of the American Armed Forces. So that's about it. I got out of MEPS around 3:30. Um, so that was a really long time. So be prepared to go to MEPS. Rest. Do not stay up. And don't make the mistake of going out of your fucking room after 10 a.m. because there were some guys playing around in the fucking hallway and just making noise, and I don't know if there was any repercussions to that, but they definitely got yelled at, and I mean, I don't think it affected them, but I mean, don't jeopardize your position. Don't jeopardize all the effort you're putting into it. Just follow instructions. Um, and that's about it. So, you guys have any questions, or if you want to leave a comment, you can do that. You know where to leave it. And if there's something I haven't talked about that you want me to kind of go over, just let me know, and I'll take care of it. So I'll see you guys later.